let me show you how you can force the native aspect ratio for shop images within individual product listings. In a previous video, we saw how you can do that for the main product page, but I got a couple of questions asking how that could be done for the inner pages as well. So today, that's exactly what we're going to be addressing. We're going to be implementing this on the simple layout option when the slideshow gallery is enabled, and also on the half layout option. In both cases, we need to do the same thing. We need to stop the image from covering its container and contain it within its boundaries instead. To do this, we need to take 3 steps. First, we need to look at what the image element is called within the structure. Second, we need to target that inside our custom CSS window. And third, we need to implement the new object fit value. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Now here I have my simple layout, and this is the slideshow gallery that I'm working with. And I'm going to be inspecting this to locate those image elements, the actual image element that I'm seeing here on the screen. I can see that the image element is located in here, and there are a couple of attributes that I can use to be able to target this via CSS. So there's this class of product gallery slides item image, so I'm going to be grabbing that one. And then I'm going to add it into my custom CSS window. So that's already steps 1 and 2 taken care of, which is awesome. And then the last step is going to be to change that object fit value. So if we take a quick look back inside the structure, you're going to see that the image here on the right side has a couple of CSS styles applied to it. One of them is this one called object fit cover. So this cover value is not really modifying the image aspect ratio itself. It's just forcing it to be big enough so that all of the edges of that square container get covered, hence the cover keyword. What we're going to do instead is change that object fit to contain so that the image reduces itself enough so that either the tallest part or the widest part of the image reaches the limit of that square container, and then the other edges just go back to their native aspect ratio. So let's go ahead and set that object fit inside our custom CSS window. And one thing to keep in mind is that because the original value is set all the way up here where it says element style, this means that the object fit is currently an inline style. That just means that it's more difficult to get rid of or to alter that value via CSS. So let's just go ahead and force that object, if I type that correctly, object fit contain. We're going to be forcing that by using here the important rule. So that is how you can handle this. You can see how it's very quick. And now if we were to take a look here on mobile, you can see how this carries on, and then we also get the native aspect ratio showing up on smaller devices. Now I did get one question asking how you could implement this only on mobile. So if you only wanted this native aspect ratio to show up in this situation, then it would be a matter of wrapping all of this inside a media query of your choice. So here, if I were to do max width, I don't know, let's use something like 767 pixels. If I were to use that breakpoint, then you can see how the native aspect ratio shows up here for smaller devices, but then if I go back into the desktop view, I still get that cover value applying, and therefore I get the 1:1 aspect ratio that the parent container has. All right, so now with the half layout in place, you can see that we have the slideshow showing up the same sort of cropped images as we have before. This code right now is not working. Not because the approach that we need to take here is different, but because the class of the images changed. So let's go ahead and take a look at what these ones are called so that we can adapt our code and make sure that the same trick applies or the same fix applies. All right, so here is our image element, and you can see how this one has a different class. This one is called PDP Gallery Slides Image. So I'm going to grab that one and replace it here. And once I do, you can see how now the aspect ratio, the native aspect ratio of the images is brought back inside this half layout as well. And once more, if we were to check here mobile, you can see how we get those images with their native aspect ratio and we don't get the crop anymore. If you wanted to apply this only on mobile or even only on desktop, it's just a matter of adding in your corresponding media query so that you can decide at which breakpoint this change takes over. And that's it. And now you know how you can keep the native aspect ratio of your shop images both on the main shop page and inside individual listings as well. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a big thumbs up or leave me a comment down below. In any case, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.